And it's time for Lefties Losing It. Let's start in Italy, where the Winter Olympics are underway. This is a country led by a staunch conservative and Trump ally, Giorgia Meloni. Likely the most popular leader in America right now is Giorgia Meloni, a woman who has cracked down hard on illegal immigration. Perhaps some of the self-delighted flogs in the US Olympic team are unaware of these facts because they are carrying on like the US is the only country where immigration laws are enforced. Let's hear from some dude called Hunter Hess, another one disgracing the great Hunter name. Here is the freestyle skier emoting at a press conference.
It brings up mixed emotions to represent the U.S. right now, I think. It's a little hard. There's obviously a lot going on that I'm not the biggest fan of, and I think a lot of people aren't. If it aligns with my moral values, I feel like I'm representing it. Just because I'm wearing the flag doesn't mean I represent everything that's going on in the U.S.
Really, dude? Just what sort of a self-delighted simpleton is Hunter Hess? He has mixed feelings about representing his country, then jump on the first plane home, son. Does he really expect the Trump administration, elected in a landslide, to alter its election promises his fellow Americans voted for so he can feel good about representing his country? Let's hear from another virtue-signaling Olympian with delusions of grandeur. This is Chris Lillis. He's heartbroken about criminals being deported.
I feel heartbroken about what's happened in the United States when, I'm pretty sure you're referencing ICE and some of the protests and things like that. I think that as a country, we need to focus on respecting everybody's rights and making sure that we're treating our citizens as well as anybody with love and respect.
But possibly the worst bit of delusional moral posturing goes to figure skater Amber Glenn, who makes Tonya Harding look like a lovable and rational gal.
Yeah, it's been a hard time for the community overall under this administration. It isn't the first time that we've had to come together as a community and try and fight for our human rights. And now, especially, it's not just affecting the queer community, but many other communities.
Really, Amber? Tell me exactly how the queer community is under attack. Just because mutilating confused kids with irreversible procedures is frowned upon now because boys and men can no longer steal women's places in women's sport. And talking about keeping women's sport just for women, remember when this character with male chromosomes was beating the bejesus out of a bunch of women and getting a gold medal for his troubles? Those of us calling out the unfairness of Iman Khalif being allowed to compete in the women's boxing at the Olympics were attacked. I was even threatened with legal action for stating the obvious, and other women were also attacked, including Megyn Kelly.
She was born a woman, lives as a woman, and boxes other women. So what is the argument against that?
This is such an outrage. Look at this. This is a man. This is a man who is competing in the boxing tournament for women.
No, she's not. She's a woman. This female boxer is female. Can we stop this before America turns it into a presidential campaign issue?
Well, you'll be shocked to learn that Iman Khalif is indeed a man, and the Algerian has admitted to having male chromosomes. Give back that gold medal, dude. Now let's get to Bad Bunny's performance at the Super Bowl. It's subject of much debate. The political activist who likes to wear dresses occasionally is said to be the biggest star in music. That's what the powers to be at the NFL claim. But let's see if the actual players taking part in the game are fans of Bad Bunny.
What's your favorite Bad Bunny song?
I already got one. Sorry about that.
I don't know who that is.
I never heard of Bad Bunny.
I don't know who that is.
He's performing at halftime.
But yeah, I don't know who that is.
I don't know no Bad Bunny song.
Do you think they made a mistake?
I believe so. I ain't never heard of bro till now.
I don't have one.
I don't listen to him.
I don't know any song.
Oh, what the heck's it called? I blank out the name.
I don't think I have one.
I don't know Bad Bunny song.
That's a tough one.
I don't have one. I don't really listen to that, but I can't lie.
I really do not know any.
I haven't listened to any songs.
I don't know any.
Now, it's not just Bad Bunny who loves preaching politics and a hard left agenda. The NFL also picked has-been pretend punk rockers Green Day, the painfully mediocre and lame Green Day to perform at the Super Bowl. Let's look at some of their recent work.
Well, maybe I'm a American. I'm not a part of a MAGA agenda.
Yes, changing the lyrics to their old songs to slam MAGA. How brave. There are no new songs anyone knows. They jumped the shark around 1997. But now they are interrupting their lame concerts to deliver political messages like this.
This goes out to all the ICE agents out there, wherever you are. Quit that job you're at. Because when this is over, and it will be over at some point in time, Christy Dawn, Stephen Miller, J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, they're gonna drop you like a bad habit. Come on this side of the line.
How does he manage to look like a middle-aged lesbian, about as punk rock as a pumpkin spice latte? Well done, NFL. That's who you have selected to unify the nation. Talk about not knowing your audience. Let's bring in Newsweek's senior editor-at-large, Josh Hammer. Josh, the NFL continue to treat the great majority of their fans with utter disdain.
Rita, this was the most left-wing Super Bowl that I have ever consumed in my entire life. And I am a die-hard American football fan. I've been watching Super Bowl since I was, I don't know, probably 5, 6 years old. This surpassed any other one. And of course it did. I mean, we have a game that was being played in San Francisco, the epicenter of the American left-wing universe. Two teams that are in Seattle, and from Boston, Massachusetts, to liberal titans here. You had Green Day, you had Bad Bunny. I mean, the whole thing was just an utter, absolute abortion. It was an atrocity of a Super Bowl. The Bad Bunny halftime show is going to get the headlines, and rightfully so. I mean, Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, is frankly just utterly commie trash. But the silver lining, Rita, of all this, silver lining of Green Day, who is exactly as you say they are. They are a radical left-wing ideological group of washed up, mid-50s, 60-year-old lesbian-looking rockers. But between that and Bad Bunny, this halftime show that was entirely in Spanish, like literally not one word, not even Lady Gaga saying a word in English. I was ready to punch a wall. I mean, it was utterly insane. I mean, it makes me just genuinely live. My blood was boiling. But the silver lining here is that Donald Trump's approval ratings are probably going to spike in response to this, because the people will see this, and they will see that this is the opposition, that they celebrate the multicultural agenda, they celebrate the desecration of American heritage, they celebrate the notion that America will ideally in their dystopian future not be an English-speaking country there. They love that there. So frankly, I think that ICE actually could see a spike in approval rating as a result of this. Donald Trump, I think, will probably benefit as well, Rita. That's the silver lining. But frankly, this whole Super Bowl, I mean, frankly, the football game stunk too. It was a very boring game. But the entertainment was, frankly, just an utter atrocity.
Atrocity, that is a strong word but I think it's a very popular way to describe what happened today. Can we also talk about the Black national anthem that was performed before the game? Josh, why does one demographic group have their own anthem separate to the national anthem that is for every American?
Rita, one of my producers from my show texted our show, Chad, just before the game started. He said, "I'm getting ready for the black coin toss. How about you guys?" I mean, it's just so silly. It's just so utterly stupid. Frankly, it's not the first time the NFL's done this. They've actually done this in previous Super Bowls as well. Memory serves, all since St. George Floyd, our great late martyr, died in May 2020. The NFL has been all in on the woke agenda. They have end racism and blazing in the end zones there. It's really just awful. And it makes you wonder, Rita, just what they're seeing that the consumer is not seeing, because football is like the most red-blooded American sport other than WWE wrestling and probably like NASCAR, right? I mean, the NFL football is a flyover country sport that is popular first and foremost in the South and the Midwest, in disproportionately MAGA parts of the country. I'm sure there are plenty of liberals that like football too, but I mean, just a total misreading of the audience. And when it comes to specifically to the so-called Black national anthem, can you imagine if you had a white national anthem? I mean, everyone say this is a David Duke rally, it's a KKK rally. You would never do it because you recognize intuitively how utterly insane it is. The national anthem here in America is for everyone of all religions, all sexes, all sexual orientations, all skin colors there. Blacks, whites have fought and died for that flag. They're the Tuskegee Airmen in World War II. It's just awful. It's just absolutely awful. This is where the NFL has gone to, Rita. Frankly, it makes me, again, as a lifelong football fan, makes me, frankly, want to tune out of the game next year.
Well, I tell you, if they want to redeem themselves next year, have a country music-led halftime show. It will absolutely be brilliant if they select the right artists, and their fan base will actually enjoy it rather than wondering what in God's name is happening. Now, I'm going to do a full breakdown of all the Super Bowl craziness in tomorrow's show, but Josh, can you explain what is happening here? This is Patriots wide receiver Mac Hollins showing up to the Super Bowl. He's wearing handcuffs, a prison jumpsuit, and a Hannibal Lecter-style mask, no shoes. What is happening, Josh? I could not work out what this meant.
Rita, you know, that frankly makes two of us, if I'm being very candid to the audience. It was actually my wife who flagged this for me. I had totally missed it. My wife found this video for me and said, honey, what the heck is going on here? He's clearly making some sort of political statement. It's not entirely clear exactly what he's trying to say there. I presume it's some sort of ICE open borders, anti-incarceration, pro-decarceration agenda. But remember that, again, this game was in San Francisco. San Francisco, the 49ers, is the NFL team there. They had Colin Kaepernick as their quarterback for many years there. So, I mean, this was kind of the moment with Green Day, with Bad Bunny, in the backdrop of Nancy Pelosi and Gavin Newsom and Colin Kaepernick's beloved city of San Francisco. This was the time to pull out all of these stupid stunts, even if the stunts, frankly, don't make any sense there. So, again, it's so cryptic and it's so utterly dim-wit and low IQ that we can't even figure out what he's trying to say there. It's clearly some sort of anti-ICE, anti-incarceration, anti-prison, anti-MAGA, load of just utter gobbledygook there, but it failed. And frankly, for what it's worth, his team actually failed epically too. They got their butts kicked by the Seattle Seahawks, and rightfully so. But this is some sort of just utterly idiotic attempt to get the man, to get the political establishment there. And the fact that you and I are still having a hard time figuring out what in the world he was trying to say shows what an utter failure it was.
Well, yeah, no one seems to know precisely what he meant by that. Maybe he'll explain it, but I did have a look at some left-wing publications as well to see if they had an idea what he was trying to convey, and they were none the wiser. They had some weird ideas of what it could mean, but I think it was all just wishful thinking, a lot of that. Now, I want to stay on the sports theme. What do you make of all the political posturing and moral preening we've seen from American athletes at the Winter Olympics, Josh? What have you made of some of the commentary there about how they feel about representing America in 2026?
Well, I'm not a fan of it. And I am a big fan of the Olympics in general. To me, the Olympics are an opportunity to get beyond politics, to unite in the name of the nation that we all love. And, many of the great Olympics moments in modern Olympic Games history, certainly in American Olympics history, many of our great moments have been precisely that. I mean, speaking of the Winter Olympics, I mean, who can forget the miracle on ice in 1980 when America, this group of amateur hockey players defeated the best team in the world, the Soviets, at the height of the power of the Soviet Union there. I mean, these are the great moments there to unite in love of one's country. So this is really not the time to try to make some sort of political statement there. There's that old line that politics is supposed to stop at the water's edge. And there's frankly a lot of truth to that. When you're representing your country overseas there, just shut up and represent the flag. Represent the men and women who gave it all to defend your freedom, to defend your right to go to Milan, to beautiful northern Italy, and to have 2 weeks off in the snow to do your thing there. I mean, how about a little respect there? So it's just awful. I will say that you can contrast this with the way that a couple of the recent American tennis players handled the exact same thing down under in your neck of the woods there in Australia during the Australian Open. You had the American male tennis player and the female player who were asked similar questions by left-wing sports media, namely The Athletic, which is a New York Times-owned publication. They said, how do you feel about representing America during the time of ice there? And they both gave the perfect response. They said, you know what? I'm not going there because guess what? I'm playing tennis. I'm having fun. And I love my country. Well, bravo. Great answer. I don't know why the Olympians can't do the same thing.
Well, yeah, that pest of a sports reporter, the activist, just gave that same question to every American tennis player, and pretty much all of them, except one that I saw Coco Gauff, just batted it away. And he wasn't satisfied with that. He would keep going back. But no, Coco Gauff, the highest paid female athlete in America, she played the victim beautifully. So she got all the coverage. And it's funny that they're doing this in Italy. This is a country led by Giorgia Meloni, who's been described as the female Donald Trump. She's a staunch conservative. She's a good friend of the Trump administration, and she's cracking down on illegal immigration. So to be making those comments in Italy itself is interesting. Now, before you go, Josh, we've got good news. It seems like Kamala Harris is back. She dropped this odd little video on X. Tell me about Kamala 2.0, this relaunch. Does she still think she will be president one day?
Well, she's basically relaunching her organization for now as a midterm November 2026 get out the vote operation. It's a pro-Democratic Party, pro-grassroots voter registration, get the people to the polls sort of operation there. Now, the very thinly kept secret is that she's doing this to try to amass things like a mailing list, an email list, and all the various data inputs that will ultimately be used for her prospective 2020 presidential campaign. So it's not a very well-kept secret, Rita, that the only reason that she's doing this is to lay these seeds for what seems to be an inevitable at this point 2028 presidential run, to which I say, let's go. Let's freaking go. I mean, if you're someone who wants the Democratic Party to lose, and I wish the Democratic Party nothing but the absolute worst at the ballot box, then you have to be rooting, frankly, for a Kamala Harris 2028. I mean, the only thing possibly even more enticing than that would be like a Jasmine Crockett 2028 there. But Kamala Harris got absolutely schlonged in 2024. She lost all 7 swing states, became the first Democrat to lose the state of Nevada, for instance, since John Kerry back in 2004. I would absolutely lick my chops at the prospect of facing Kamala Harris in 2028 there. And Democrat voters actually might be stupid enough to actually go with that. Now, I happen to think that Gavin Newsom is probably the odds-on favorite right now, but your mileage may vary, because as a friend of mine said to me when we got dinner in Los Angeles a few weeks ago, he said to me, Josh, you know what? I live here in California, and I cannot see a world in which a male white guy like Gavin Newsom is nominated there. And there's some truth to that. This is still a party that is totally sucked in and besotted with this whole intersectional identity politics garbage. And if they really do decide to go with that, then I guess it has to be a Kamala Harris, AOC, Jasmine Crockett. God help you guys, Frank, because those are all a bunch of losing tickets there. But frankly, I think no one is a surefire loser than Kamala Harris. So I say, bring it on, baby. Let's go.
Josh Hammer, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you, Rita.